Hi everybody, I'm Miss Morgan here at the Tennessee State Museum. It's so great to see you guys today, and I am so excited to be reading a story for the Discovery Center STEAM Festival. I am very excited because it's one of my favorite books, and I cannot wait to share it with you today. Ada Twist Scientist by Andrea Beaty, illustrated by David Roberts. Ada Marie said not a word till the day she turned 3. She bounced in her crib and looked all around, observing the world but not making a sound. She learned how to climb and make her big break, with a trail of chaos left in her wake. She ran through the day, chasing each sound in sight, and didn't slow down till she conked out that night. Her parents were frazzled but tried not to freak, as Ada grew bigger and she still did not speak. Clearly young Ada, with lots in her head, would have something to say when it ought to be said. That's just what happened when Ada turned 3. She tore through the house on a fact-finding spree and climbed up the clock just as high as she could, and her parents yelled, "Stop!" as all good parents would. Ada's chin shivered, and she tried not to cry. She took a deep breath, and she simply asked, "Why?" Why does it tick and why does it talk? Why do we call it a granddaughter clock? Why are there pointy things stuck to a rose? Why are there hairs up the inside of your nose? She started with why, and then what, how, and when, and by bedtime she came back to why once again. She drifted to sleep as her dazed parents smiled at the curious thoughts of their curious child, who wanted to know what the world was about. They kissed her and whispered, "You'll figure it out." Her parents kept up with their high-flying kid, whose questions and chaos both grew as she did. Why, what, how, when, why? Whoa, that's a lot of questions, my friends. Even Miss Greer found her hands were quite full when young Ada's chaos wreaked havoc at school. But this much was clear about Miss Ada Twist: she had all the traits of a great scientist. Whoa, that is so cool, you guys. Ada was busy that first day of spring, testing the sounds that make mockingbirds sing, when a horrible stench whacked her right in the nose, a pungent aroma that curled up her toes. "Zowie," said Ada, which got her thinking, what is the source of this terrible stinking? How does a nose know there's something to smell? And does it still stink if there's no nose to tell? She rattled off questions and tapped on her chin. She started at the start where she ought to begin. A mystery, a riddle, a puzzle, a quest. This was the moment that Ada loved best. Ada did research to learn all she could of smelling and smells, both stinky and good. One hypothesis Ada thought could be true: the terrible stink came from Dad's cabbage stew. She tested and tested, but soon Ada knew it was time to come up with a hypothesis too. All right, you guys, I want everyone to say hypothesis. Good job. That means question. Then zowie, the stink struck again, just like that. Hypothesis 2, it's caused by the cat. The cat couldn't make such a stink on its own. It needed perfume and some fancy cologne, so young Ada tested. The test was a flop. She started again, but her parents yelled, "Stop!" Ada Marie, to the thinking chair now. By the time we count to 3. "Enough," said her mother. "That's it," said her dad. Her parents were frustrated, frazzled, and mad. "Why?" Ada questioned. Her mother said, "No." "What?" Ada queried. Her father said, "Go. You've ruined our supper. You've made the cat stink. Enough with your questions. Now sit there and think." She looked at her parents. Her heart turned to goo. Poor Ada Twist did not know what to do. She sat all alone by herself in the hall, and Ada once more could say nothing at all. And so Ada sat, and she sat, and she sat. She thought about science, Stu, and the cat, and how her experiments made such a big mess. Does it have to be so? Is that part of success? Are messes a problem? And while she was thinking, what was the source of that terrible stinking, Ada Marie did what scientists do. She asked a small question, and then she asked 2. And each of those questions led her to 3 questions more, and some of those questions resulted in 4. As Ada got thinking, she really dug in. She scribbled her questions and tapped on her chin. She started at why, and then what, how, and when, and at the end of the hallway, she reached why once again. Her parents calmed down, and they came back to talk. They looked at the hallway and just had to gawk. No patch of bare paint could be seen on the wall. The thinking chair now was the great thinking hall. They watched their young daughter and sighed as they did. What would they do with this curious kid who wanted to know what the world was about? They smiled and whispered, "We'll figure it out." And that's what they did, because that's what you do when your kid has a passion and a heart that is true. They remade their world, and now they're all in the act of helping young Ada sort fiction from fact. She asked lots of questions. How could she resist? It's all in the heart of a young scientist. Oh, I love this. Look, her parents have put up paper, so now she can write on all of her questions on this paper instead of the wall, which is what we want. We don't want to write on the wall. We got to write on paper. But what I really love, and it's a little hard to see from there, but if you look real close, you'll see a book down here that says Ada Lovelace. And she was a really famous mathematician and scientist, and I wonder if maybe that's where Ada got her name from. And that's for that smell. What can Ada Twist do but learn all she can with her friends in grade 2? Will they discover the stink that curls toes? Well, that is a question, and someday, who knows? Let's see. There's a hot dog, and a donut, and an egg, and a Lego, and a flower, an onion, a garlic, a banana, and cheese. I wonder which one is the stinky one. The end. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we read that book. It's one of my favorite stories. And we're going to do a little science experiment like Miss Ada Twist. Now, I don't have anything stinky, but what I do have is one of my favorite science experiments. Exploding colors. Now, that sounds dangerous. It's really not, but you will need some help. So I do ask that you maybe grab an adult, or maybe a big brother, big sister, a neighbor, grandma, grandpa, whoever you have at your house that can help you with this. Because you'll need a few things, and plus, it's just fun to do science experiments with other people because they can learn something too. So these are the supplies that you'll need. You'll need some baking soda, some vinegar, and some food coloring, and some little bowls. All right, I'm gonna give you a few minutes to get those supplies ready, and I'll see you back here. All right, so we've gathered our supplies. We got our baking soda, our vinegar, our food coloring. And so what I've done, I have these little cups like this. And I've also put a plate underneath because it's gonna get messy. So what you can do though, is if you do this with another person, which I think you should, have the other person add some food coloring to your baking soda. And you're gonna see what color it turns once we add our magic ingredient over here. All right, so you guys are ready? So we have our baking soda. And so Ada Twist starts out with a question. That's a hypothesis. So let's think of a good question. What is going to happen when I add vinegar to the baking soda? So let's see what happens. You guys ready? Oh! Whoa! That a little more? Whoa. Let's see. That's the green. Oh, there goes yellow. Oh, that's why I call it exploding colors. Look at all of those bubbles. And we got the blue. Whoa. Ah, how cool is this? Whoa. This is one of my favorite experiments that you can do. And what's really fun is that it is kind of spooky season. We're really close to Halloween. So what you can do that's really fun is I just had these little plastic cups that we had here at the museum. But if you go to the store, you might find some cool little jack-o'-lanterns that are plastic. And you can do that. And then you can have exploding jack-o'-lanterns. So have fun with this experiment. Like I said, share with a family friend because these are just so fun to do. And plus you can see all the cool colors that you can make. Maybe, I wonder if I added the red to the blue, what would happen? You know what? Let's see. Oh, whoa. So you can have fun. You'll definitely might want to do this somewhere that if it gets a little out of control, like that did, it's going to be okay if it gets a little dirty. So have fun with it. I hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you next time at next year's festival, and hope you come see us here at the Tennessee State Museum. Bye, everybody!